Hi guys, my name is Jake Thompson, and in this video I'm going to talk about the principles of games design. This video will cover the world, characters and feedback interface of games and how and why they are different. Alien Isolation is a first-person survival horror game. The game serves as a sequel to the 1979 film Alien. Unlike most games that are based on the Alien franchise, Isolation is based on the first film, as opposed to its sequel Aliens, which spawned games such as Alien vs Predator and Aliens Colonial Marines, both of which are first-person shooters. Alien Isolation is mainly designed to appeal to fans of the original Alien film. Because of this, the general aesthetic of the game is very similar. The game is set in the future, but this version of the future was envisioned in the late 70s, so there are lots of VHS monitors, but no holograms or other things you would expect to see in a sci-fi setting. It is very retro. The game even has the option to adjust the film grain level on the screen to make it appear even closer to the original film's visual quality. The game is also influenced by the survival horror genre. Most games make environments much larger in proportion to the player character than they would be in real life. However, the environments in Alien Isolation are to scale. This, alongside the small, dark, narrow corridors and vents of the game's setting, creates a very claustrophobic environment which can greatly increase the suspense of a game, as threats could appear from anywhere at any point. The game aims to be photorealistic, which is why it is 3D and it is open world, which helps increase tension as there are multiple directions from which enemies can come from and can create a feeling of isolation and danger if you become lost and don't know where to go and enemies are nearby. The game was released on modern gaming platforms, so the photorealistic graphics are believable, which help to immerse the player in the mainly movie-based franchise. When creating the game, animations were recorded onto VHS and Betamax video recorders, and were then filmed playing on an old curvy portable TV, to make the world of the game look like it was created in the 70s. Mario started off as a 2D side-scrolling game. This was partly due to the technical limitations of the time, but also due to the fact that player skill and expectations were much lower than they are today, as video games were not a large part of the entertainment industry. A good example of this is the game Donkey Kong, which only featured architecture and objects, but no realised world. Instead, it just had a black background. As the demands of the gaming industry evolved, so did Mario. A fully realised world was created to side-scroll through, and as technology developed, this world, and its now signature visual style, carried over into open-world 3D iterations of the franchise. Due to the franchise being aimed at a younger audience, this style consists of bright block colours, and the shapes tend to be smooth and round, at least on the systems with the technology to allow it, such as the Nintendo Wii and DS. The young audience is also the reason for the light-hearted tone of the games, and the lack of cutscenes, as younger players tend not to have the patience to watch them, as they just want to play the game. LEGO Marvel Superheroes, like most LEGO games, has a visual style influenced by two external factors. In this case, it is LEGO and the Marvel Universe. The LEGO franchise is aimed at a younger audience, so the colours in the game are generally bright. The game is 3D open world. Within the environments of the game, there are two types of architecture and objects. Some look almost photorealistic, such as large buildings, and mainly serve as a backdrop. Others are made of Lego and tend to be more animated and can be interacted with. This game is mainly based on characters from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, so environments and characters in the game have to be based on real people or environments. Other characters and environments are taken straight from the Marvel comics, so although they still have to look like the characters or environments in the comics, they don't have to match a real-life likeness. Viva Pinata does not have a playable character as such. Instead, the player controls a circular cursor and plays the game as themselves. This results in a very personal experience. For example, if you are given a moral choice in a game where you play as a fleshed-out character, you may make a decision based on what you think the character would do. In Viva Pinata, each decision to be made is on you, which can make the player really think about how they play. The cursor itself matches the user interface of the game, so you still feel like part of the world, even if you are just a little circle. Due to being a game aimed at children, the NPCs of the game are mainly there to aid the player. However, there are some minor antagonists who present small obstacles. The visual style of the characters is very cartoony. Human NPCs wear masks and appear more like patchwork toys. The piñatas themselves appear as animals with extreme body proportions to emphasize the childish cartoon look of the game. The piñatas are black and white when they first appear, but change to be bright and colourful once they join your garden. In The Elder Scrolls Skyrim, the player takes on the role of the Dragonborn. This character can be customised to be made male or female, one of 10 different races, not all of them human, and can be further customised more intricately. This can involve changing the hair, facial features, and even complexion of the character. Finally, the player is able to name their character. The player is able to customise their character even further once they start actually playing the game, by acquiring new clothes, armour and weapons as they explore the game world. This helps the player to identify with the character. Although there are a large variety of character options, it isn't so customisable that you can make your character appear like they don't belong in the game world. NPCs in the game exist to progress the story of the game, provide information and present obstacles for the player to overcome. The design of all the characters in the game is to be photorealistic within a medieval fantasy setting. Also, due to the huge open world of the game, the NPCs help to make it believable and seem alive. Being able to create your own character means the player can become more invested, as they can base the character on themselves. The game can also be played in third or first person to either give focus to the environment or the character. Lara Croft is the protagonist of the Tomb Raider franchise. Inspired by Nene Cherry and comic book character Tank Girl, she was designed to counter stereotypical female characters, i.e. damsels in distress. Due to technical developments and reboots to the series, the character has undergone a few design changes, but has maintained a similar look throughout. The character serves to progress the story of the games, which is not customizable. Lara Croft is arguably the most famous female video game protagonist. This can be seen as a positive thing, as it suggests a change in video games which mainly involve male protagonists. However, on the other hand, Lara can be seen as a negative role model to young girls due to her unrealistic body proportions. The feedback interface of FIFA is designed to make the game seem like a real-life game of football. The score, time and teams are in the top left of the screen because this will be where they are positioned on TV. This creates a sense of familiarity, as it will mainly be football fans who play the game. Commentators are also used to give information to the player, just as they will be used on TV to give information to the viewer. Outlast is a first-person survival horror game. It has a very minimal visual interface, showing only the battery life of your camera. Instead, the game uses audio to convey information. For example, certain music will be played if you're being chased by an enemy, or if the game wants to increase the suspense. Titanfall is an online multiplayer first-person shooter. Because of this, lots of information has to be displayed for the player, including team points, objectives, ammo, Titan cooldown, the equipped weapon, and the minimap. All of this information is displayed on screen at once, which can help create a sense of urgency to match the fast-paced action of the game. The information is arranged around the edges of the screen, so it doesn't get in the way of what the player is seeing in the game environment. It is also designed in a way to make it look like it is being displayed on the visor of your pilot or Titan, so it seems like it is part of the actual game world. Games can be 2D or 3D. 2D games are generally third person, as they usually involve side-scrolling. However, 3D games could be third or first person. The third person perspective makes the character the main focus and is common for open world adventure games. A first person perspective puts emphasis on the environment in a game and is common for shooters. Sometimes perspectives can vary in the same game. For example, a first person game could switch to third person when you enter a vehicle to allow a better view of your surroundings. On the other hand, a third person game could switch to a first person perspective when aiming down the sight of a gun to improve the accuracy of aiming. Full motion video is when pre-recorded video files are used to display action in a game. Due to the technical limitations of earlier systems, full motion video was used to create more believable characters in games by using live action cutscenes or interactive movies. The method didn't last. As technology developed, a wider variety of believable characters could be created using computers.
That's it, man. Game over, man.